I got a demon within me. That's what my mom used to say. Mom would always be telling me that demons are all over this world. That they sneak up on little boys and girls and plant evil seeds in their head that sprout and grow, spreading around their souls like an infection. It's kind of like when you don't wash a part of an open, scabby skin. The spot around it starts to turn an ugly shade of yellow. Then it gets sticky. Then you gotta clean it with a smelly, burning liquid that leaves a gash looking dark and brown for a while. Mom swore that demons, the only medicine needed was prayer. Keep your hands tight, close to your chest. Imagine they're chained, bound by your faith in the Lord. Pray to Him, my son, so that He may take your demons away. But my demons don't go away. I see in the shadows that bend all the crooked like the closed doorways, and I'm sure He hides in the bathroom mirror, tucking His slender body into the corners of the glass, just waiting for me to look elsewhere so He can snatch me and pull me into this reverse world, where the bad is very good and the good is very bad. I told Mom this, that He saw me brushing my teeth and spit it into the sink. So she grabbed me by the ear, dragged me into the bathroom, turned on the lights, pointed straight into the mirror. "Where's the demon?" she asked. "If he's here, then I want to see him." The demon didn't show himself. "You won't be able to see him, Ma," I said. "For heaven's sake," she yelled, letting her spit fly all over my cheeks. She placed her hands on her hips and looked at me with her hair-raising eyebrows, the kind like she always used to do before giving me a beating. "Why on earth not?" "Because, Ma, he's invisible." And so she burned my face with her hand, told me to go to my room and go to sleep. "Pray," she said, before having me leave the bathroom. "Kneel by your bed and plead to the Lord that He can take that demon. Only you seem to be able to see that way." Put my knees on the ground, rested my elbows on my bed, kept my hands raised and chin down. I begged, "Dear Lord," I sang, "can you guide me to my demon? Take him and forever keep me safe." Tears trickled down my face. "Please. I don't want him growing, taking over me like a weed, feeding on my fears, and making me think of these awful things." I said the Lord's Prayer. "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as earth, as in heaven." I remember Mom's words, her hands clutching the rosary. She often recited 10 Hail Marys whenever she felt the need to clear her mind. So did I the same. I didn't have any strings or beads, but I kept the number of prayers alive in my head. I started with 10, then added another prayer, followed by another 10 Hail Marys, then repeated myself until my knees hurt. It was so hard to stand. 10. That's how many times I blink, and as soon as I wake up, I place my right foot on the cold ground first, followed by my right. 10. That's how many times I pace one end of my bedroom to the other before making my bed. 10. That's how many Hail Marys I pray before thinking about leaving this room, before my breakfast. 10. That's how many steps I'm supposed to take from the doorway down to the stairwell. 10. Always 10. Any more, any less, someone I loved as. "Good morning, Jay," Father says, his head turned up to the stove, cooking a pan of scrambled eggs. "Morning, Father," I return. I grab the kitchen chair by the top handrail, slide it out, back in, then out again. Its wooden legs are aligned perfectly with the floor's tiles. I sit down and I keep my arms off to the side, because Father, he thinks it's impolite to place one elbow on the table. "Sleep well?" says Father. "Not really," I answer. "I think I got about 4 hours shut-eye." How many? How many was that?" "Hail Marys," he says, walking towards me with a smoking pan of eggs. I see it, the disappointment riddled across Father's face. Eggs fly in the air. The scorching pan strikes me square in the head. My body's now on the floor. My lips nearly kiss kissing his feet, his fist breaking my teeth. He's laughing manically like a demon. 110, I answer. A good night's sleep is super important, Jay. You can't go on living like this. What's wrong with 109? Or even just 10? 10 Hail Marys aren't enough. And how do you know when it's enough? I just know. Mama used to tell me I was cursed. That demon had lashed onto my soul. She'd hear me talking to myself while pacing in my childhood bedroom. Shut up, she always yelled. Go to sleep. What on earth is wrong with you? Nightmares, I tell myself. Nightmares that bloom and paint the black canvases of my eyes. Pictures that break through the darkness of my headspace. He, my demon, never ceases to trace vivid images, things that I know are not true. And he uses a set of oriented, fabricated lies as a front, just a way of keeping me terrified. The other boys are rolling up their plates, leaving the kitchen table. They stand and grab the dirty dishes, forks, and napkins. The chair screeches when someone drags it against tile floors. One boy plants himself in front of the sink, while another one rolls up the plastic placemats. Another tall fellow scrapes everyone's leftover food in the garbage. The kitchen is flooded with the sounds of scurrying footsteps, dishes clanking, water burning. The boy rolling up the placemats beside me has a knife under his sleeve. He walks behind me, and the tip shines from below his wrist. He reveals his weapon, seconds before the boy in front of me at the sink has any chance to escape. He plunges the knife into the boy's gut. Blood seeps from the wound and trickles down his legs like piss. Everyone runs. He looks to me, knife in hand, grinding his teeth, grinning on next. Hey Jay, the boy asks behind me. You gonna take much longer? Or can I take your mat? Huh? I don't know, just leave it with me. I'll put it away once I'm done. He stares at the food on my plate, a pile of scrambled eggs, like curdled cheese, and the sausage patty, cut into 10 pieces. Well, make sure you finish eating before lunch, he answers, chuckling. I swear, why the fuck do you take so long to eat? What did I hear? Father says. Entering the kitchen. Nothing. All the boys reply in confusion. Jay's just here taking an eternity to eat again. The boy by the sink responds with a water stain all over the front of his shirt, looking like an ink blotch. He's gonna skimp out on helping us clean up again, Father. Tell you what, Father. How about you guys leave Jay alone and me to talk, and we clean up the kitchen ourselves before lunch? Does that sound good? Really? Some of the guys said in disbelief. Yeah, just scram before I change my mind. And in a flash, the sound of excited running invades the space, dispatching as each one of them just go upstairs or out through the front door to play in the yard. Don't forget to dry them dishes, one kid mocks before leaving the kitchen. Jay, I'm starting to get worried about you, Father says. I know things haven't been easy for you, since your arrival, but what? Your behavior, he says. It's not exactly something I understand. Don't worry, Father, I assure him. I'm fine. I say, shining at him, smile. It's no big deal. I'm great, see? Come on, Jay, open up. You've been here for 8 months. You still haven't told us much of anything. Father pulls out a chair, sits across from me, crosses his arm and places them over the table. Thought you didn't like it when you do that. Well, we're not eating now, are we? He says. What? I have very terrible table manners, he answers, laughing. But the boys here need to know how to mind their manners. If they ever intend to leave here, honestly, I'm not much of a stickler for the rules. I scan Father from head to hands. Notice he's slouching, his head slightly arched forward, and as if any moment he could jump out over the table and grab me. So he continues, I told you something about me. Now how about you tell me something about you? I'm like, do you really want to know? Lay it on me. I have a demon. One that I can't be seen. He isn't noticeable like a shadow or a voice. He's silent like the air I breathe. He speaks through mind and rituals. Tasks that he could somehow force onto me. I see him in the corridors, push me down the stairs, stretching his body from across the foot of the bed, trying to make me grab for my legs. I see him in what looks like dreams, strokes of a light, and color that occasionally bleeds into reality. He takes over a room, the objects, the people around me, and sometimes even toys with my body. The rituals, I need to follow them, even if they seem like nonsense to me. 10s are sacred. 10 blinks, 10 steps, 10 prayers. I chew my food 10 times on each side of my mouth. I wash my hands 10 times on each side every time I go to the bathroom. And I'm not allowed to leave the space before looking into the mirror. I need to make sure he sees me. He needs to be aware each and every time of my performance. He knows everything about me. I need to make sure he's pleased. If he's ever unhappy, I'll do something terrible. I pray every night that he would leave. Prayers in sets of 10. 10 Hail Marys between each Our Father, followed by cramping legs and burning knees. This is probably the most valuable task amongst all others. Once my eyes were heavy from such a tiring evening and brutal beating, I fell asleep before completing my nightly ceremony. That night, I woke up, and my demon had taken my mom away from me. How do you know he's a demon? He asked. Mom told me. She said my father had a demon too. Kind that made him do crazy things. Forced him to go into drinking and making long cuts down from his arms. Mom said my father had this thing with being clean and keeping everything in pristine condition. He wouldn't touch certain things. And his demon only ever let him be when he was in the church under the protection of the Lord. I see, said Father. And what about you? Do you think your demon fears the Lord? I think so. I don't know. Maybe. Here, door open. Jay, Father Vincent begins. This is Dr. Wong. Nice to meet you, Jay, she says, stretching out her arm. You call me Lucy. I stare at her wrinkled knuckles, lines on her palm and fingers. I don't raise a finger to greet her. So she reacts to my hand. The doctor? Yes, Jay. Lucy here is the doctor. A dear old friend. I asked her to come down here and speak to you. About what? I fire. Look into Father's eyes. Well, let's say I think I can help you, she says, if you're willing to speak to me. What do you mean, I return? Well, Vincent told me that you have a demon. Is that correct? I nod. Tell me, how do you live with this demon? I do what he wants. I try to keep things in order, just the way he likes it. I also pray. Does it always work, she says? Most of the time, I answer. And how do you feel about that? About having to do all these things he says? Honestly, I feel pretty tired. Anything else? Yeah, shameful. Dr. Wong sits down by the bench where I'm sitting. Father takes a seat directly behind me. I want to see if we can offer you some relief. A way to help you out that doesn't involve keeping you awake most of the night in prayer. No, I blurt out. I need to pray. Prayer is what keeps me at bay. No, Jay, it doesn't. Dr. Wong interjects. The truth is your demon isn't exactly the type that will simply go away like that. But my mom said. We know, Jay, Father replies. But how about you talk to Dr. Wong for a little bit? Tell her anything you want. Tell her everything you told me. I looked at Dr. Wong, her thin eyes bouncing back to me. You're a doctor, right? Am I sick? She says, let's just say your demon isn't exactly what you think it is. She rests her hands on the arm of my chair. Do you mind if I sit? Pointing at the back space behind me. Sure, I answer. One question, though. She says, what's that? Do you really think you could help me?